Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I decided to build a vampire inspired house. So to begin, I made sure that any previously planned house and terrain paint was gone. Completely. Poof, gone. So from there I started with a basic square and added rectangular rooms to the side of the main house to give it more dimension. So what I decided to do from there was pick up a whole house and move it to be more centered with the lot I am building on. And then I was questioning on what to do next. So then I just decided to start with the roof and see how the house would look like when I'm done with it. Because, as some of you may know, you're just like, I'm not entirely sure on what to do with it and if it looks right. And that's pretty much what ended up happening. And I ended up switching the back to the front of the house, and I thought it looked better that way. But then here's where I ran into a minor setback. I just could not figure out how this side roof should look. I was going to leave it like this, but it just did not feel right to me. So I thought I could bring it out more and try to make it be some sort of an overhang, but at that point it just looked ridiculous, so I just put it back. But I still didn't feel right with the roof type, and I just decided to delete it. So then I had this light bulb go off in my head, and I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of this sooner? I deleted the rectangular sidewall and decided to go with something different. I decided to put this circular wall type to the side of the house and create a circular room to vary the shape of the house. And I've never done this before, so I was like, I might as well give it a try. And so I was like, this is much easier to roof, and it actually was. And it was like 10 times better than what my original idea was. So from there, I just kind of wondered, what else can I do with this roof, or if I need to do anything else. And I was like, maybe I can add a platform. So I was like going to try and add a platform to the house and stuff, and just kind of trying to figure it out because I was just like so new to trying to add a platform to an already built house that I actually had no idea on how to do it. So I was like, what if I just put it off to the side and see if I can move the house on top of it? And I was just like, I'm not even gonna bother with it. It's too much effort. I might as well just leave it how it is. I mean, it'll turn out fine either way. So I ended up leaving it alone. And so from there, I just decided to add columns and give it more of a bright look almost. I don't really know how to explain it. It's more of a textural design with it to make all the like corners stand out more. And I thought it actually looked really good with those columns added to the corners, so I left them there. So I was fiddling around with what color I should place the main house to be. And I was like, okay, this is a really dark green. I don't know if I like it or not. So I was like, I'll come back to it and let me see if I can like add something else to the sides and like the off of the main house to see if it looks better. And I'm like, this color combination isn't too bad, but I don't know if I like it or not. But as I continued to fiddle around with the roof and the color of the roof, I was like, yeah, this looks a lot better since I changed the roof color. And so I was like, I can't have the like over like the trim of the roofs be white, so I painted them black to match like the roof. So I just went in and decided to add doors to the house and just kind of fiddle with that a little bit. But like I really did not like that wall there that I placed. So I deleted that, and then I was like, okay, I might as well start making the rooms since I'm already in the house. So that's what I did. I went ahead and made the bedroom, the like living room area, and then the dining room and the kitchen's all there. So I was like, okay, this is how it's gonna be, I guess. Like it didn't seem to bother me at all how it was set up. So I was just like, there's only one way in the kitchen and one way out. And that's how it's gonna be. I did not change that at all. And I was like, okay, that circular room, I know I'm gonna have a hard time with the building. And I just tried to ignore it. But I'm just adding lights to be able to see whenever I actually like build inside of it, place wallpapers, flooring, stuff like that. So what I did was like find a vampire flooring and I added that to like all the rooms except for the bathroom and the bedroom. The bedroom I kind of found like this bluish color from the vampire pack that I absolutely loved. Then I found this tile from like the bathroom sets and I was like, you know what? It actually doesn't look bad. Found this matching wallpaper for the bedroom flooring. And I was like, that's too much in the bedroom. That is way too much. So I decided to put it in the living room, the entryway, the dining room, and I was like, that actually looks a lot better like that. So that's how I left it. In the bedroom, I just put a plain blue, dark blue in there. So that way there wasn't too many patterns going on. But there's still that white trim, so that way it gives it more of a different texture to it. In the kitchen, I really didn't know what kind of tile I wanted to use on the wall, but I just used that tile that I placed. Like, if I didn't like it, I can always change it later. And I actually ended up liking it, and I left it alone. It did not bother me at all. The bathroom, I used that, like, weird siding to it, and I was just like, it may be too dark, but if I don't like it, like I said earlier, I can always change it. And I didn't change it at all. So I'm just, at this point, I'm at a standstill. I've not moved the camera at all because I did not know where I wanted to go from there. Like, at all. So I was just sitting there contemplating on what to do. And I, like, completely forgot I was recording for a minute because it was, like, so bad. Like, I had to take a break from it and I still left the camera recording. And I just left it running because, why not? And yeah, that's pretty much what just happened. I had to step away from it and I was just like trying to think and then my brain finally settled down and I was like, okay, let me just work on the outside real quick because I don't want to mess with the inside right now. So I started landscaping and adding trees, size them up to blend in with the rest of the surroundings and just kind of made it more spookified, I guess you could say. Almost like a vampire actually lives here because I did not add any windows at all. So that way if a vampire did want to live in this house, they can and not get burned by the sun constantly. And I decided to add like these um dead rose bushes to the house. I ended up putting my move objects cheat on so that way I can like double stack them. Because at that point I did not have my move objects cheat on. But then I was just like, I need that for landscape. I definitely do. So I was just kind of layering up like stuff that came in the vampires kit or pack or whatever it was. I can't remember. And I was like layering these like almost like dead leaves, but they're not leaves, they're like vines almost. But it looked very nice with like the dead rose bushes, so I just put them with that. And then I add like this like plant to it and like kind of left the original size, then sized it down. And then there's those vines again. I loved the using those vines or twigs or whatever they are. I loved using those with the landscape on this house. I did. I really did. And then I was over here like, I know I want something in the front of the house, but I don't know what yet. So I just continued around the corners because if there's like a small corner like where I'm at right now, if there's like a small corner of a house, you have to add something because it can't just be plain, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I have to add something. So I just kind of copied what I did on the other side, pretty much. But I didn't like make it vertical so that way it wasn't like symmetrical. And so for the front of the house, I just decided to put rocks, all the different types of rocks that there was available. And I was like, okay, not too bad, not too bad. There could be more, but that's a good start. So I just decided to go in with these plants right here. And I was like, okay, looks better. And the reason why I'm on the side like this is that way I can see if it's clipping in with any parts of the house. And that's what I'm going through right now, fixing anything that has been clipped with the house. Because if you don't have your move objects cheat on, then it won't clip with anything, but it's also hard to layer stuff in that sense, so that's why you have the move objects cheat available. Um, Here I just decided to go around with terrain paint. I was like, okay, it's mm, kind of like a dirty, like grass almost. So I put that like as the dirt in some sense, but I went around and actually added dirt to the outer parts of the landscaping. But in the front, I just used dirt. I didn't use that like dirty grass almost. And I was just trying to figure out what else to do. So I was just going around adding terrain paint, that dirt terrain paint to be specific, to underneath the trees even. And half the time I'm like, how do people add terrain paint to these big trees? How? Just how? So I was like kind of going around the trees, just hoping it worked. And I was just like trying to zoom in as much as possible so that way I can get around it. And then kind of struggled for a minute on how to like do this one because I was like, I have no clue if this is gonna look right, but we're just gonna go for it. And that's exactly what I did. I just went for it. And I was like, if it doesn't look right, it doesn't look right. It does not have to be perfect. So I was just like gonna leave it like that. I just left it like that. I did not want to bother with terrain paint any more than what I had to. But I ended up doing it anyways later in the video. And with the lights, I already put like those other lights in just so I could see what I was building. But here I decided to put like the chandelier vibe. So that way it's more vampire related in this build. Because they don't just have circular lights just attached to their roof. And then I saw these like cute outdoor tombstones as lights, and I was like, I have to have those by that tree, and that is what I did. It was so cute. I definitely needed those in this build. So I was like, okay, I have to furnish this. I have to at some point. So I might as well just start with the easiest room, and I went to the bedroom first. And I was like, that bed goes there. There's not really much more I could put in there. And then I realized I forgot a door. Yeah, that was kind of embarrassing at first, but I was like, okay, yeah, that happened. I'm aware. Let's get over it, please. And I just kind of added that bed in there and just kind of went with like a general layout for every room first, for the most part. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. If I saw something in like the room, like the category I was already in, since I was in the comfort category, and with this stuff, I was like, I'll just go through it and I'll just place it and I'll mess with it more later. So, with that said, I just found out I did that and I forgot to move that clipped. So that's what I did. I moved the clip from that. I added a mirror. I did not want a like non-standing mirror in there, but like at the same time I was like I should have one but I didn't. But I was like, since this is a vampire house, might as well add some cobwebs. Just a couple. Just a few cobwebs. So that way vampires feel more at home. Because all they do is sleep in a coffin. So that's what I did. I was like going around making sure it wasn't clipping to the other side of the house. Which those shouldn't clip to the other side of the house, but just in case I checked. I was gonna add like this weird water stain to the house, but then I decided to delete it because why would there be a water stain in a vampire house? No one knows. So I was going through like the tables and surfaces now, just kind of going about, and I wanted to add like a coffee table in between those two chairs. And I was like, which one matches the vibe of these chairs and of this house? So I was just like going through trying to figure out something. I finally came up to this one. I was like, you know what? That's kind of like got the tint, the like tan tint to the glass on it, so I used that. And I wanted it to be like a study as well, like to where you can read books and just chill out in like the main entryway. Just it'd be like more of a peaceful area anyways. All you would have to worry about is people coming in and out of the house. Just trying to figure out what shelves I wanted to use, so I used those ones. Here I figured out I need something else in the bedroom. It can't just be a bed in here. So I was like trying so hard to figure out where to place these kind of things. So I decided to move the bed like that, so that way there can be some sort of like surface along that back wall. So that way Sims can still walk through that. Honestly, they still can. So it's still playable. I did test play it like after I got done with this video. So don't worry guys, it's still playable. But yeah, I I just was having such a hard time, and then I came across this dresser and I was like, hallelujah, praise the Lord. I found this dresser. And then I was like, Of course it doesn't match. Why would it match completely? Nothing ever matches. But I just decided to ignore it, as you should, because anyone who plays The Sims knows you will not find anything that matches exactly how you want it to match, because the swatches aren't available in certain packs, and it's just great. So here I was like, I want a TV in that corner, but I wish you could put a wall TV in corners, like a mounted wall TV in corners, just so that way, like it's like mounted from the corners of the TV and not like to the back of the TV like the other TVs are. But of course, we do not have that. But it would be something useful to have. Just saying. So you didn't have to use like those platform things, but it's whatever, it's fine. But I just decided I should have a thermostat. But I also saw like that cobweb was not lined up with the coffee table. I had to make it more lined up. So that's what I did over there. Because I'm a perfectionist, I have to have things a certain way. Saw a clock, thought might as well add that to the wall. Got nothing better going on anyways. And then came the dining room. Now, with the dining room, I did not know what table at first I wanted to use. So I went with this table. It's got the blue vibe we're going for. It's like a dark blue. It matches the walls. Found these black chairs and it just matched the energy of the rest of the house perfectly. And then I was like, do I want to add light switches? I was debating so hard if I wanted to add light switches because it was right by this like vines, this set of vines I was using. And I was like, I should just use the vines, move on from it. Light switches are not a necessity in this build. We're not looking for realistic here. We are just looking for accessibility. Here I was trying to stack these dead vines with the regular vines and it just did not work right. So I just put that vine there. Might not look okay, but I left it that way, so it is what it is, I guess. So I just said, you know what, a little coat rack here wouldn't hurt. It would not hurt at all. But I realized the color of it does, so I changed it to that. Or else it wouldn't match the rest of the house. Though I had to change the color of the coat rack. I'm sorry if that was a problem from some of you guys, or if it was like completely satisfying for me to change that color. Either way, I am not sorry for it, in all honesty. But I needed to add something above this dresser because something needed to be in that room, so I put something dark in that room, something black in that room, because there's black everywhere else in the house, has to have something black in that room. So I decided, like after I was done with the bedroom, let's work on the kitchen. And then I saw these fountains and I was like, let's put those outside. So I was just like kind of all over the place with some of the stuff. I saw this like hanging werewolf stacked like wall decor and I was like, that has to go somewhere. I was gonna put it there. Feel like it would have been bad for Sims, so I put it like by the TV. And Sims are still able to get around it, so I left it there. Came the vampire rug. And I put that there. And I was like, okay, that doesn't look bad. Wish it was like kind of a little bit darker, but it's fine. It doesn't look bad. Wanted to put a rug in the bedroom, give it more of a darker tone anyways, because the bed was so white it needed something dark. And we're on to the bathroom. I was trying so hard to figure out where I wanted this toilet. I knew I wanted it over there by the sink. but I was like, it's clipping it on one side, it's not clipping it on the other, and I just didn't know what to do at all. So I was like, I'm just gonna leave it there for now. If I need to fix it, I'll fix it. And I had the same issue with the shower tub combo, to where it's clipping on one end but not the other. Figured out why people don't use those circular rooms, because I thought it was a big deal, but it is. Thankfully, since we don't have windows in this house, we do not have to worry about matching where everything goes to the windows, because if we did, yikes, it would have ended badly for us in this video. But I was like, you know what? Let's go with like a whole kind of wraparound counter set type thing. And I was like, okay, cool. That works out perfectly. It looks great. And I saw those pots and pans. That's why they're on the wall already, because I saw those already. And I was like, I don't want to forget those. Added some cabinets to it to give it more of a, I don't really want to say tight squeeze, but give it more of a less open space. Let's just say that. It's less open space if I do it that way. Had to add the fire alarm because you know the Sims. Sims like to burn things very easily. Every Sim has to have a burn at some point. It's like tradition in Sims land. I saw this like creepy gargoyle and I was like, that would be perfect for a vampire house. So I put it there, like on that roof. Kind of remind me of like Beauty and the Beast in a way, to where it was like those gargoyle statues. Then I saw this angel statue, and I wanted to put it on the roof too, but I thought it would be too much, so I just kind of put it over there and like by the dead rose bushes, and I thought that would have been enough. And then I saw that there, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna put that there too. And then I saw this, and I was like, I want that there too. And then I was like, no, that's gonna be too much in the yard. Absolutely not. I almost went overboard on the gargoyle statues, but thankfully I caught myself in the nick of time. Saw this like dead tree plant pot, like almost like, so I put it in the dining room because I thought the dining room needs something else. And here we were like, something needs to go on this coffee table. It can't just be blank. So I saw those books, I was like, ooh, that's a perfect stack of books to put there, but it still needed something else. But I'll come back to it when I get to it. And so I was just fiddling around with decorations at this point. I wanted some decorations in other rooms, and I just couldn't focus on one room at a time. So I was like, there has to be multiple books here. Decided to delete those. I didn't really delete those books, but I put them like on the shelves to give the shelves more variation. That way they don't look completely the same, because in reality, they are the exact same shelf. I need to add an umbrella rack because vampires don't like getting wet either. I mean, come on. And add knives and a little, like, I'm pretending that's like a recipe book, so that's why I have it in the kitchen. Can't forget toilet paper. People don't like it when you don't have toilet paper, apparently. But I was like, you need a towel? We got you. You need a robe? We got you. Like, everything is available in this Sims house, even though they might want to drink your blood. Added a hamper. I was gonna add like soap and stuff to like the, almost like a shower caddy. I was gonna add that to the shower itself, but it wouldn't work on I realized it wouldn't work on round walls, so I didn't do it. But I saw these cute coffee mugs, put them in, put the spices by the, like, silverware, and saw this cabinet. I was gonna put it there, and I decided, no, Sims need to walk. So I put it on the other side. Figured it'd be more spacious that way, but also, like, not, like, too spacious. Have to have salt, pepper. But yeah, at this point, I'm just going in and filling in with decorations because it just needs decorations at this point. Because if I didn't go through with decorations and like miscellaneous stuff, it it just would have been a dull house. And that's something I've learned playing The Sims is that if you have too much stuff, it's okay because you're still learning. If you don't have enough stuff, it's okay, you're still learning. If you have the right amount of stuff, then you realize, okay, I finally found my groove with how to build finally. Well, I wouldn't really say build because I'm still struggling with building in general. That's why there's no walls in it. Well, not no walls. I don't know why I said walls, but there's no windows. Sorry for the miscommunication on that. There's no windows in this house because I could always struggle for days on end with where to put windows, so figured a vampire house would be a perfect place to have no windows. Saw that lovely urn, so I put that urn there. And so at this point, I'm just deciding, do I want some cracks in the walls? And my brain said, yes, obviously, that deserves to be in the kitchen. We'll put that in the kitchen. And that's just how it's gonna be. There's gonna be cracks in the kitchen and cobwebs in the entryway. What could go wrong in a vampire's house? Am I right, guys? But yeah, I found some tombstones. I added those outside as well. It'd be weird if you added those to the inside unless you have a creepy basement. That's fine too. I was thinking about adding a creepy basement and just killing a bunch of Sims and like play in the house first. And then I was like, that's gonna take too much effort. I'm not gonna do that right now. I've already spent like hours on this house. I just like sped it all up for you guys to make it more useful for you guys and less boring. I decided this kitchen needed a sink because if it didn't, it was not going to be good at all. I realized I was missing a trash can for them too, so I added a trash can outside and inside the house. And from here, I was seeing if there was any other decorations. For some odd reason, I decided, let's see if there's anything else we can add to the outside of this house because it needs all the decorations it can get. At least that was in my mind. Found this mailbox in black. I used it, of course. And here's where I'm back with terrain paint. And I decided to make it like a sidewalk to the front of the house with the terrain paint. And that is like the end of the house build. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a like. It really helps with the channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I will be seeing you all in the next video.